Welcome back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. It's your boy Black Adam. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show. Y'all know what time it is. Every time I'm up here on the mic, I got something special, something good, and someone that's giving the information that's real well. So, man, before we get started, big shout out to my sponsors, Edge Sports Counseling. Shout out to those guys. If you have any athletes, any former athletes, any athletes that's potentially about to be athletes, they do 100% counseling for athletes, especially within this NIL space. Make sure you hit those guys up. Ed Sports Therapy. Shout out to my second sponsor, Med Pro Supply. If you need a CPAP, you have trouble sleeping, you need some type of remnants in terms of your sleep, make sure you hit up Med Pro Supply. Shout out to you guys. Also, call Audio. Thank you, Audio and Deshaun, for sponsoring the show. If you need an attorney for any accidents or anything, make sure you hit up the Jones Law Firm. Guys, as you know, we're in a certain climate that's going on, a certain climate, right? And I ain't talking the heat. I'm talking just a certain climate in terms of if you live in Houston, you see what type of development is going on. Not just, I used to live, so most of you guys know I used to live on the northwest side of Houston, so they're doing a major development swing up there, especially with, the Turo development for the Texans, and Bridgeland has these 40,000 homes that's coming up, and they have all this excessive schools and commercial spaces, things of that nature. And that's just in that area, but you have it everywhere in Texas. And we have an individual up that started off kind of in this business, and we're gonna kind of get into it. And she's a developer, she's a mother. Can I say you created the 3D printing?
Oh, well, I'm bringing Houston's first.
Okay, so you're let's say you're curating the 3D printing. So you're in that space right there. She's also a queen, as you guys know. She's the queen of crew reporters. But I'd like everybody to welcome to the show, Miss Vanessa Cole.
Thank you.
Hey, Vanessa, how you doing, man?
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, first of all, where you're from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So where are you from?
Okay. Well, I was born in New York.
Okay.
But I grew up in Dallas.
Okay.
Houston, over 15 years.
So, New York as a kid, Dallas as a young adult.
Well, kid to young adult.
Okay, and Houston, adult.
Correct.
Strictly adult. Why Houston?
That's where my parents were, so I just followed my parents.
Okay, cool. All right. What's the difference between Dallas and Houston?
Dallas, so mind you, I left when I was like 19.
Okay.
And I was partying a lot.
Okay. Shout out to the party.
Shout out to the partiers.
Don't be tardy for it.
And it was, and then in some cases it also kind of felt a little pretentious in some areas. But Houston, I found it to be very entrepreneurial friendly.
Okay.
I love the diversity.
Yes.
I think we're such a great foodie city.
Yes.
Love the parks, and also I find people are just much more collaborative. So Houston's been great for me.
So now, run me through through your high school, college, entrepreneur years. Like, how did that even start?
Yes. So I am 36. I came out of high school 2007.
Okay.
I tried college.
Okay.
But I did not finish. I thought I was going to be a producer, director. I thought I was going to continue dancing. I used to do choreograph dancing in high school. And that didn't work out. So I got into real estate. I got my license when I was 20.
Oh, wow. Damn. You was real early.
Yes. And so I've been doing that since then.
So why real estate? Out of all things, like you say, you was a choreographer. Then you say you wanted to get into the space of film and the arts. So how you went from that to that?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to make a lot of money.
Okay.
Like I couldn't like see it. But I loved investments.
Okay.
So I always had an interest there. I just wasn't sure, okay, was I going to go like the stock market route or, which channel? And then the vehicle ended up being real estate.
Okay. Yeah. So now real estate. Now, and this is a broad term. I know most of you guys that are in real estate, you guys can be tuning in, especially the ones that's interested and the ones that, that dial in, like you said, they're investors, angel investors in real estate. Real estate is a broad subject because you have different spaces. You have the material in real estate. You have the actual land. Mm-hmm. You have the property. You have the development.
Mm-hmm. You got commercial, residential, architectural, engineering, civil engineering, yes. Environmental,
mechanical.
HOA. I mean, it's
so
endless.
It's so much, right?
Yeah.
So you decided to get into, was it always development or was it another piece that you started off and it ventured into that?
Yeah, my introduction was affordable housing.
Okay.
That was my introduction into this space. And well, let me back up. I was a realtor at first. Right. So I got my license and I worked under a top producer who represented investors.
Okay.
And that was intentional, right? I didn't want to do the traditional real estate. I wanted to understand the investment component. So we represented a real estate investment trust, which is a REET, and yep. I learned how to do volume acquisitions, right? And then made some money doing that and wanted to start investing in my own projects. So then I invested with a home builder in 3rd Ward, and he was building a duplex.
Okay.
Went well, sold, made money.
What year is this?
Oh, God.
It's pre-pandemic, right?
Year. Yes. No, yeah, for sure, pre-pandemic. I mean, I might have been like 23 at the time.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, okay. I never considered investing in new construction.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I was also a teller at the bank.
Okay.
And well, let me rewind. Before I got my real estate license, I was a teller at the bank, and I represented this guy who worked for Midtown, and they were buying lots to put affordable housing on those lots. And so as a new realtor, I was helping him with those lot acquisitions. Then I started helping doing the REET acquisitions. And so then fast forward, I learned that these affordable housing programs in the city have all of these lots, mm-hmm. and they were looking for builders to build new homes.
Right.
And so I was encouraged by people that I knew to start a development company and a new construction company.
So hold up. So I gotta kind of go back for
yes.
a second, because so from what you're saying, you was a teller, so you had access to this certain individual who had land that he was buying.
So when I was a teller at the bank, he was coming in to process his checks.
Yes.
And I just told him, because you have like your regulars.
Right. And he's processing a lot of money.
Yes. And I was just like, hey, but I didn't understand. I didn't know what he did at the time. I just knew he was doing something in real estate. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, I'm getting my real estate license. And he was like, oh, well, once you get your license, let me know, because we acquire property.
Okay. Just like that, it just hired you on.
Just like that, yeah. I mean, I wasn't hired.
But you was just like helping out.
I became a realtor to help him with his lot acquisitions.
But you was getting, still, you was like.
Yeah, so when I passed my test and got my license hung at a brokerage, I was in training, and I had like 5 properties.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 5 contracts. And I didn't even know what to do with them. He was like, here's the 5 contracts. We'll pay cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was 23.
Yeah. I mean, I was like 21, 22 at that time.
And you looking at probably about $50,000, $60,000 right now. Talking about probably more than that.
No, because it's 3%. Your commission is 3% of the sales price.
Actual sale, right.
And these lots were like 30, 40,000.
Okay, got you. But
so I wasn't making much. But
that's still a lot of money,
I
though.
learned a lot.
Okay.
And it was a volume play.
Right.
So that's when I learned, okay, like lot acquisitions, like who's, how are you analyzing land?
Okay. So now define a REET, R-E-E-T. What is that?
Real estate investment trust.
So that means basically the whole portfolio of whatever you buy goes into one trust of.
Yeah, so this group, they were based out of California, similar to like a hedge fund.
Okay.
They pretty much had all of this money from investors, and they had a specific area in Houston, and they were just buying houses.
Okay. Got you. Okay. So that's like, okay. And it's protected by that trust.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Well,
whatever was acquired.
The asset is going into that trust.
Correct.
Yes. And then they were going to be rental properties. And then obviously that's how, with the rental income, that's how they pay their investors, and also when they go to sell.
I got you. That's how they pay their dividends.
This is two separate clients.
Yeah. I got what you're saying.
Representing the city and this REET.
Okay, so now you learn. You learn.
My early 20s.
Yes. So that's what I'm getting at now. So you understood this process and what was going on. So you decided, okay, well, nobody's acquiring land. Mm-hmm. And that's something that it was an acquired space at that time, unique space.
Well, to be frank, I was just trying to make a commission.
Okay. Yeah, trying to make some money. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I didn't really understand at that time, like, what is what? I just knew, like, I needed a client who wanted to keep buying.
Okay.
Versus me having to keep finding individual clients.
The hustle, the grind.
Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house?
Right.
Which we still had those in our clientele, but I like volume.
Right.
That goes well for my personality and work ethic.
Well, you understood one thing I'm getting from it. You understood that you could do the hustle game, which is fine. But you more working smarter versus harder, right? Kind of, sort of. And then you had access to certain things too, because it all kind of aligned.
I would say the only thing I was intentional about in my early 20s is that I knew I wanted to do something in real estate that had an investment component.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be capped. And I needed something that challenged me, and then I could also see like, okay, there's a long-term play here.
Right.
That was really the only thing I was intentional about. But everything else, I didn't know. I didn't know I would start a land development and construction company.
Right.
Like that was never on my radar.
So I want to talk about that because I'm trying to get to that because I have a lot of questions because I'm trying to learn myself. So now, fast forward. We talking say 10 years. Fast forward. You started a company, right?
Yeah, 26 started Klein Builders.
Klein. So you had an investor. You came in. You had the information. You had an investor, but you had the change too.
So at that time, what prompted to start the company, because I'm now in this attainable housing space doing the lot acquisitions, and I've now had experience with doing acquisitions at volume, I was informed about a program in the city where you can buy lots for $1. And you build.
In Houston?
Yeah. So this is when I was like 25. Yes.
Really?
So 11 years ago.
For
it was a $1 lot program.
Where were they located?
They were in Sunnyside, City Gas. Typically, what one would call your low to moderate income areas.
Right.
And
wow.
The whole point of the program was to incentivize builders and developers to come in and build.
Right.
So, hey, I have this lot for $1. You can get.
So it's kind of what they was doing in Detroit. Same thing.
I'm not familiar.
The same thing. They was selling lots for like $1 under the same program because it was like.
To incentivize you.
Yes, because the areas was like, well, you called it low to moderate, low income. I'm calling it what it is. It was the hood.
The hood,
It was hood, and it needed to be developed. But nobody wanted to go in there because they felt that their investment wasn't as good. If they was to build some true triplexes or duplexes in there, nobody's going to come in there because of the area. So that's what the incentive was. $1. You might get a break on your taxes if you build in this area. So, okay, yeah.
Yes. So I had the opportunity to buy 10 of them.
Oh, okay. $10. Wow.
Yeah, 10 lots for $10. And so at the time I was like, so what I was trying to do is I was trying to find a builder, because at this time I now have the relationships.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Because I've been in these programs, I have relationships. So now information is coming to me and I can, get things through. And I was just trying to find a builder who would build on these lots and then pay me like a finder's fee in perpetuity. That's all I wanted. Like, as long as you stay in this program, however many lots you get, pay me, I don't know, $2,000 to $5,000 a lot. I've offered something. Quickly, all the builders I talked to were like, I'm not doing that. And they were trying to go around me and just go do the program without me.
Circumvent it,
not knowing that I had like these really strong relationships because I was representing them in their lot acquisitions.
Now, was it also because you was a woman? Because I know they had like a lot of woman incentives. Like, what is that?
Like the MWSBE,
yes.
Minority Women Small Business Enterprise.
DBE and all
that. No, and I'm not certified in that.
Okay.
So it wasn't that at all. It was just because this program knew my work ethics, and they were like, hey, you should start a company and build.
And y'all had relationships, strong relationships.
And I was just like, I don't want to start a company, but let me find a builder.
Right.
So anywho, that didn't work. And I was so I went back to the program. I was like, I can't, a builder won't work with me, and pay me a little finder's fee. And they were like, no, you put the company together. This is your company.
So you did everything.
Yeah, they were like,
Staff.
Find you a GC, find you a general contractor, find you a bank, you buy the lots from us, and then go.
Just like that?
Just like that.
And you 26?
I'm 25 at the time, because I formed the company at 26.
So, but you had, so they just said, fly, bird, fly. They just kick you out the nest and you had to fly.
Yes, they were like, we know your work ethics, you can do it. And I'm just like, oh my God, that sounds like a lot of work. So then I took a step back, I prayed on it.
Yes.
And I started doing research of like affordable housing, and that it's essentially a global crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people have are paying over 30% of their income on housing costs.
Yes.
Right? And your cost burden on just where you live.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm like, man, maybe I felt like, now I felt compelled to try to figure this out.
Okay.
And be a part of the solution.
Like a purpose. I had a purpose. Oh, I'm in this space.
Now it's a purpose.
Yeah.
So I found the GC, I found the bank, and I formed Klein Builders.
Okay.
And we've done 75 homes. I built for Habitat for Humanity. I built for the Houston Land Bank.
Okay.
I built for community development corporations. I've worked with different tax increment reinvestment zones. I've got a 18-acre, 45-acre project with the housing department. We've developed 100 acres out in Chapel Hill. We've got 1,500 acres out in Willis. So all of that came from
that 23-year-old at the bank.
At the bank processing checks for this real estate.
So let me ask you this. Now, do you ever, I know in this space, do you ever get a chance to sit back and say, okay, well, I know a lot of the stuff in this business, it's old saying, you can never teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can learn or have been learning, especially since the pandemic to now?
The only thing constant is change.
Yes.
So I live by that, right? The markets are changing. right? We're always looking at everything from a holistic perspective, and especially in attainable housing, because these buyers are like, they're just price sensitive, right? So I'm always constantly pulling a lever here or pulling a lever there. So whether it's getting subsidy on our land or the buyers getting down payment assistance, I'm constantly monitoring interest rates and what that does to their monthly payment.
Yes.
When you have situations like the pandemic or the war, your costs increase, right?
Your material,
oil
everything.
affects everything.
Yeah.
And so every single cost is being monitored closely, right? Sometimes you have to slow down on projects, sometimes you have to speed up, sometimes you have to pivot, go with another partner, go with another supplier.
Right.
So I just live by the only thing constant is change.
So I want you to define this, because Houston is a market where majority of Houston, say that, is a market where majority of people make a certain amount of income, right? We have the fourth richest city here in Houston, which is River Oaks, right? Average income is $999,000, right? So I want you to define affordable income.
Yeah, the way we define affordable housing.
I'm sorry. That's affordable income, sorry.
Yeah, it's a buyer spending no more than 30% or more of their income on housing costs.
In that controlled area, or?
In general, if it's pertaining to our project.
Okay, gotcha.
So HUD, Housing and Urban Development, they have a chart that they release every year for every city, and they say, hey, for a household size of one, if they make 74,000, they are in the 120% of the area median income.
Okay.
And then when you do the math, divide that by 12 and then times 30%, that's how much that they should be spending on housing costs.
Right. Not including taxes, though.
Yes, that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Okay, gotcha.
Sometimes people want it to include utility bills, but it gets tough.
Yes.
Right, it's very tough. And so that's why, like I said, we're always constantly like pulling these levers of where can we get additional subsidy to offset the cost that these, because everything in development and home building, all of those costs are passed on to the home buyer.
To the buyer, yes. And we'll cure that. And we're like, damn, I didn't know it's going, damn, the next thing you know, we thought we was going to pay $2,000, now we're paying $2,800.
Correct.
And we stuck with it until we refi, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing. Yeah, exactly. So that's just how it is. And that's how it is in the open market.
Okay.
Now, in attainable housing, you're getting subsidies.
Okay.
So you're essentially like grants.
The buyer or the
on
developer?
The development.
Okay, gotcha.
And that way, all those costs, that cost burden is not passed on, or not as much, I should say.
Okay, so that's why you guys can do, well, that's why they can do a 100% financing or whatever the incentive program is.
There's different programs, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
$50,000 down payment assistance.
Yes,
I
got you. For new builds.
$120,000. It could go towards rehabs.
Okay.
It just depends on the program. And there are a lot of programs.
Yeah, I was actually, you know what, it was funny. I had the opportunity to buy my second house. Well, my first house I bought in Town Lakes, right? Look, I'm like, you ever moved to Town Lakes? Hey, you know why? But I moved to Town Lakes, but I didn't realize that Town Lakes was going to grow like it did.
Okay.
And our taxes went up tremendously. When I say it went up like crazy, right?
Okay.
But I sold that home.
Because of the value of your home?
The value in the area, and everything is moving there, then Bridgeland, all these places.
Yeah.
So I had to hurry up and sell the house. Because what I initially got, even though it was a good thing,
sure,
the value jumped up.
You got some equity.
Equity, like $350,000 in it, like the first year. But it was too expensive. Like it was steady climbing. I learned that. So when I purchased my second house in East Downtown, that's when I started really paying attention to like what you're saying, like the subsidies or the benefits that I get if I buy new build or like a rehab or renovation or whatever. Yeah, so that's if you guys are into the housing market and trying to buy your a home and you're a new couple or you got a new job or yeah, make sure you guys look at that because it's a lot of programs, down payment assistance, all kind of things, especially here in Texas.
Yes.
It's a lot. FHA. What's that one when you out in the countryside? That's like
with a USDA loan.
Yeah, that right there. So let me ask you this: being a woman in this space, I'm pretty sure you've been asked this question a lot. Being a woman, a female in this space, when you first got into the space, were you respected? Fast forward, are you respected now? Since you got skin in the game.
Yeah, I always struggle with the woman question, the female question, because it never bothered me. It was never something I thought about. I mean, sure. I mean, guys always try to hit on you. That's just what comes with the territory.
Right.
More so in the beginning than now, because I think now when I come into rooms, it's like I'm about business, right? It's a zero tolerance for silliness.
Right.
So I don't really get as much. Yeah. Now, if it's in a social setting, but what I had struggled with in the beginning internally was the experience, right? Because I did not go to college. I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm just a natural hustler.
Yeah.
And I know my work ethics, and I know I could take things from A to Z. I know that I care about the client, and so I've always been one of those that'll go above and beyond.
That's good.
The extra mile.
You care.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that carried me through as I just continued to learn more. And then I was just self-educating, like reading books on construction. I had like 4 builder mentors.
Okay, good.
Watched YouTube videos, podcasts.
Yeah.
And then you just start learning, right? And then as you're sitting with your architect and your civil engineer, you just start asking them, can you break that down for me? I don't know your trade like you do. Help me understand.
Yeah.
Right.
So now fast forward. Fast forward. And you know what, that's what you just said is important. Because one, you acknowledge, he's like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the beginning, but I had a knack for it. I understood people, understood the business as time went on. I tapped on I put the 10,000 hours in on my
10,000
craft.
hour work week. Yeah.
Right. And now I'm not saying that you mastered it, but you experienced a lot what a lot of people are facing in this space. Fast forward. Now you mentioned 3D printing. 3D printing. So now help me out with this. I'm gonna try to break this down the best way I can. So when you build a home, normal building is wood, right? You have, of course, the foundation is concrete, but you have wood, then you have siding, brick, whatever you want to put on it, then you have a roof. Now 3D printing of houses is strictly cement, right?
So the material mix, so for those who don't know what 3D printing is, it's essentially a robot printing the exterior shell of your house.
Yes.
Right. So the actual mix, the 3D printing contractors, it's a proprietary mix.
Okay.
So it's more akin to like a mortar, but everybody just says concrete because it's easy for the everyday person to understand.
Yeah.
But when you start getting technical, it depends on like the aggregate, the size of the rock.
It's like stucco.
Will determine.
Stucco. Kind of, sort of.
It's more akin to a mortar.
But it's stronger though.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
Yes. And so essentially that robot, so it's like additives, it's sand, polymer, fly ash, concrete.
Okay.
It's a nice little mix.
Yeah.
And that robot is extruding that mix onto the foundation, and then it's creating these layers like a cake, and the concrete cures in like 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. That fast?
That fast.
Wow.
And now you have the shell of your home built in less than a week.
Wow. And that's just the shell. So they still got to go inside and do the interior stuff, but the walls and everything.
So the way we're doing ours, it is both the interior and exterior wall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, so now you have like a cavity, if you will, because you have the exterior and then the interior. And then you're filling that cavity with an insulation, like a spray foam insulation.
Oh, they're doing everything. So the machine is doing everything.
Well, the machine is doing the exterior and interior wall, and then you have an insulation guy that comes in and sprays the insulation.
So let me ask you this.
But you're replacing your framing, your cornice, your sheathing, your siding.
Right.
You're replacing like 5 or 6 things. And you're condensing that timeline that would normally take like a month to less than a week.
Now, is that conducive for like tiny homes, or that could be a normal 3,000 square foot home?
Oh yes, they have some 3D printed homes priced, I think like the 800,000 plus.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, in the millions. Yeah, they have a 3D printed Dior store in I think Abu Dhabi.
Really?
Yes, they have 3D printed commercial structures. There's a 100-home 3D printed community outside of Austin, priced in like the $500,000, $600K.
So these houses are like, they're not affordable. They're up there.
They're not affordable, no.
Okay.
So this technology has, let me say this, the group out of Austin, Icon, which is the #1 3D printing company, they have tested the 3D printed homes in with like some nonprofit groups that focus on housing, but there has not been a 3D printed attainable housing neighborhood.
Right.
And that's the one that I'm working on.
You're bringing to Houston. Got you. Okay, why you want to bring that to Houston? If Houston has this traditional standard way of building and the standard way of, ranch style or land, Houston, everything is big in Texas.
Yeah.
Why you wanted to bring that to Houston?
Well, why not? Right? And then 2, because I've been in this space now for so long, feels like COVID is the reason I even considered 3D printing, was because my lumber pack quadrupled in price, and I was just stuck. Like, it was the same attainable housing, and I was paying 4 times what I would normally pay.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off. It really did.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to do something different. Like, we really do. And then Houston's climate, right? There are insurance companies that are leaving Houston.
A lot.
Yes, because we flood.
The disasters, yeah.
And
Elements.
homeowners insurance are going up.
Yes.
Because of that, right? And so if we can bring a more resilient product to Houston, right? The 3D printed homes, they're flood resistant, termite resistant, mold resistant, much more energy efficient. I mean, they are...
You can piss a lot of people off, though.
Fortresses.
You know that?
I mean, I may at some point...
You know why I'm saying that, right? Because a lot of businesses that thrive on those things you just named...
Sure.
Yeah, they're going to be pissed.
I mean, people are not going to stop buying
100%.
frame homes, right? Okay. So, that's just not going to stop.
Yeah.
Now, but that's not going to stop me, because they're pissed off. That's not going to stop me from bringing a quality product.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
And especially to the buyers who I've worked with for so long. And it's coming with its own challenges. So although that there are a lot of benefits, the technology is still new, and the technology is just very expensive.
Yeah.
So prior to coming here today, I was on the phone with the 3D printing contractor, and the cost is just, I'm like, I'm wrecking my brain of like, how can I still make this work? Because the premium product that I want costs.
Yes. Well, so I'm I'm in the disaster recovery space, right? So by working in that space for 17 years with the federal government and now with the county, they're going to see a need for it. Like when you talk about public health, when you talk about housing, HUD,
Yes.
things of that nature, they're going to realize that most of these insurance companies have left,
Yes.
right? And they're not coming back because they're bankrupt, right? So when you talk about flood control, Houston is big, even though that they're trying to update the infrastructure.
The FEMA maps. Yeah. Oh, and the infrastructure. Yeah.
Right.
All of our bayous.
The 100-year floodplain, but it's still gonna flood because we don't have nowhere for the water to flow. So in terms of flooding, I think that's a great idea in terms of wind resistant, because if you
Yes.
go to
better
like
wind rating performance.
if you go to any Caribbean place, all the houses are made of cinder block, right?
Yes.
Because of that reason. That reason. When it rain, like you have a lot of wind-driven rain, stuff that floods, wind-driven rain, hurricanes, tornadoes now, right? Freezes,
yeah, we had
even
the
freezes,
derecho, yeah, the freeze.
right? So I think that would be more resilient. I think the cities and the counties will buy into that, because especially if the constituent was to complain multiple times and say,
Yeah.
we need some people to bring this into Texas or in our area, they're going to bring it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's a
Yes.
great idea, me personally.
And when you think about when your house floods and you're having to call the insurance company or FEMA, you have to rip out like the first 3 to 4 feet
Yeah,
of your
a drywall.
house.
Yeah.
Yep. You're having to be displaced. You know, your whole life is just in disarray because of this flood event.
Yes.
With a 3D print for Zuri Gardens, my project, we're not in a floodplain, but if it does flood there one day, all you have to do is replace your furniture, wipe your walls, and you go back to your standard of living.
It's like a floor, right?
Exactly.
You have a ceramic floor, it floods. All you do is just get a steam clean. Okay, you back at it. Let's go.
We're back to our standard of living because there's nothing organic within these walls
Right.
that can grow anything.
Have you had any pushback from like city council or like states or anything?
No, actually, City Council was very receptive.
Good.
We had our groundbreaking in November.
Okay.
We had 10 elected officials there. We had about 500 attendees.
Okay.
200 of them were students busing in. And so that's a beauty of this technology as well. It's like it has kids excited to learn about robotics,
Right.
and
Yeah, that's true,
material
too.
science, and just technology,
Tech, yeah.
a new way
STEM,
of
yeah.
building. You know, you can't get 200 students to bus to a traditional development.
No.
You know, I mean, they'll go and it's like, all right, you know, building houses. But they want to see robots, right? They want to understand, you know, how can I become a developer? You know, how can I become a print operator? And I think that's just like the really cool thing.
Yeah,
too
it's
about
innovative.
this.
It's very innovative, and it's forthcoming. So let me ask you this about AI. How is AI in real estate right now?
Oh, AI is in a lot of places in real estate. I actually moderated a podcast. Sorry, not a podcast. I moderated a panel
Okay.
with the Greater Houston Builders Association on AI. So one, it's currently doing like a first pass with permits and your floor plans. So I think Harris County just approved, I think it was like $1 million or $2 million pilot for AI to review plans.
Okay.
So that's one. Also, there's a group that is helping developers kind of analyze sites more efficiently, looking at the topography of the site, doing a first pass of like a land plan. How many lots can you get based on that municipality's requirements, which is great because all that takes time.
Yes, it does. A lot of time.
I personally use Claude, Cowork, and I mean,
I heard Claude. I heard. You know what? That's my first time hearing this. This is my second. I'm sorry, my second time hearing this in a week. Claude.
I love Claude.
I heard Claude is like a personal, like specialized.
Assistant. It's my chief of staff. It's my CEO, COO, CMO,
Claude.
CTO,
Everything.
CFO. Yes. So I have it connected with
Everything.
my Gmail, my note taker, and it keeps track of all my projects. It's my sparring partner. It helps me think through things.
You know, that's
my counsel.
That's not scary.
Not for me.
I'm just saying, like a person that you can't see physically, or just.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, everything has its pros and cons.
Yes.
Right. So it is maximizing my productivity. You know, there are discussions about the security piece. So that's always, obviously, I think about that.
That's a big piece of it.
I do have a guy on my team that specializes in cybersecurity.
Okay, good.
So he's helped me put some parameters in place
Good.
to help. But I think if you're not using it,
no, it's definitely a tool. You need it.
it's a tool. It's a tool. And, you know, I think about it this way. There are still some businesses that don't have a CRM, or they're not like, they're not heavy in tech, but they're still performing.
Operating, yeah.
They're still profitable, right? I think you're still going to have that too with this technology. Some people are going to lean full in and going to optimize and leverage this technology to the fullest. And then you're still going to have some people that don't and will still do fine.
Right. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's just I guess it's new, and I'm from like kind of old school kind of sort of, and you know, you doing it with your hands, and you know, adapting something that's different is always the fearful piece of it. So I have two more questions for you, because I know you got to get out of here.
And I'll say this too. So I also use Perplexity, which is you can use it as an AI agent on your desktop. So I had ChatGPT compile. Okay, so my daughter is having a darty, a day party at the house.
Did you call it a darty?
She calls it a darty. Yeah.
Wow.
On the last day of school. So I'm like, oh my God, the backyard is a mess. I need to get new furniture, new cushions for the furniture. I need new plants. The seats in the pool, they've got like crud on them. Right. The outdoor kitchen has like rust. So I'm taking pictures of everything. I put it in ChatGPT, and I'm like, compile a list, like search on Amazon, and pretty much compile the list.
Right.
And so it did its search, and I said, I need you to create the prompt for my Perplexity agent to put it in the cart. And then I moved that prompt over to Perplexity, so that's on my actual desktop.
Okay.
And I dropped the order, the Amazon order, and then Perplexity started shopping. It started looking on Amazon, and putting everything in my cart while I was making breakfast. So that was going on for like, it shops for me. So
oh wow.
It compiled all this. So there are probably, I'd say, like 15 things in my cart. But it'll take a little bit of time, because it's
specialized what you want. It
has to go through. It's checking measurements. It's looking at the colors. But I did that from like photos, talking to it for a little bit, transferred that information, and then I made breakfast. I fed the dogs. I think I hopped on a call.
And it was already there.
And then I came back. Everything was in the cart.
You just had to go.
Yep. I reviewed it. And then I hit purchase.
Wow, that's neat. Perplexity.
Yes, Perplexity.
Wow. So I have two more questions. I know you got to get out of here. So first question, it's another woman question.
Okay.
So being in this space, is it hard to meet people in this space in terms of like on a personal side? Because
what do you mean personal side?
Like dating and stuff like that.
Oh,
if that was an intention in doing that.
Yeah, I think it's based on that individual person.
Okay.
So if you're looking to be, have a match made through your business endeavors, I'm sure it can happen, or if that's not what you're into, then it won't happen. But I mean, you come across so many people all the time.
I know.
If anything, it's making sure that, for me, it has become more disciplined.
Okay.
If anything, because in my early, 16 to 18 years old, I was having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Right. I started
a lot of darties.
Clubbing early, a lot of darties, a lot of late night darties. Yeah. Right. A lot of drinking, a lot of just living a teenage life.
That's right. You're having a good time.
And so some of that kind of trickled into my 20s, and it was just one of those conscious decisions that I had to make of like, okay, you really need to buckle down on this business because it needs so much of you, right? If you're going to do this and do this successfully. And so I had to like stop drinking. I had to stop going out.
Yep.
I had to like
focus,
laser focus.
Yeah, focus. Yeah.
And I think it was it's a statistic everywhere where it talks about like the percentage of small businesses that don't make it
a lot
past their first 5 years.
Yes, that happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm on my like 11th birthday. Like we started the company when I was 25, 26, so 10, 11th birthday, and I have, I've done it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not part of the statistic, but I know like how much sacrifice that took.
Yes.
And I remember like those early stages of, I mean, that's hard.
The learning
so
phases.
Grueling.
Yeah.
It's grueling in the early stages, and most entrepreneurs say that it's so hard because you're like, is this gonna work?
Because you can't see it. Yeah, right. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees. It's like so much.
Hard, so much work. You're trying to get people to believe in you and put up their money.
Yes.
Some of it works, some of it doesn't. You come legal stuff. Yeah, it's just so much, and then it's like, whoo, you hit the breakthrough. And it's like, oh my God, I think we made it, guys. Now, nothing is guaranteed, right? So you still have to keep putting in the work. But now it feels more of like maintaining.
Right.
And it feels more of like just continuing to strive for operational excellence and bringing in the right partners to help us grow.
Yeah.
Versus like.
So you want to scale? Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are not stopping.
Okay, unless somebody come in and buy with give you a $400 million check and say.
Yeah, I've had one of the nation's home builders. They asked me, they're like, "Are you, setting this up to sell?"
Why not?
I said, "Hey,
I think that's why business
offer I can't refuse."
Right. That's why. Who said this? I believe it was Bill. It wasn't Bill Gates. It was Warren Buffett. He's like, "What's the purpose of having a business and you can't sell it?"
Right. And you should be setting it up for that, regardless if you plan to or not.
Right.
And I have a business coach, and we meet twice a month.
Okay.
And they are a certified exit planner, meaning they know how to coach you on systems. So in the case that you do want to sell, you are set up right, and they're looking at everything from like the valuation standpoint.
Right. 100%. Yeah, 100%. I was going to ask you that. So last question, because you got to run. What would this Vanessa, 36-year-old Vanessa, tell the 18-year-old Vanessa, the one that was partying, the one that's hanging out during darties? What would this Vanessa tell the young Vanessa now? Out of all the things that you gained, knowledge that you experienced, people that you met, situations, lessons learned, and you round it up into one or two words or sentences, what would you tell that young person?
You know, although I was partying, I feel like I was always still kind of wise.
Okay.
Like I was a young, wise person. So I don't know if I like have any specific words of wisdom. I definitely don't have any regrets. Just have fun, but get ready to because you're about to put in the work.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a fun ride. It has, and there's more to do.
100%.
There's a lot of great things happening behind the scenes at Klein Builders that if God says the same and these come into fruition, I think it will take me to the next level.
So what's good about Culturally Distinct, and everybody's my witness, every time somebody comes up here and says they want to do something, it comes to fruition. Like for real. I'm not saying it's me.
So we have it on tape.
It's on the record. I'm not saying it's me, but I'm saying if whatever your desire is, 'cause I believe that God gives you the desires of your heart if you first seek Him first. Even though that's word. Yeah, it's gonna happen. So if you have it in your mind, if you say it out loud, if that's your thought, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Because if it's for you, it's for you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, well, we gotta get out of here, guys. Appreciate you coming up here, Vanessa, and
yes, thank you for having me.
not just displaying your knowledge, but also displaying your purpose. Because from you, by me just sitting here next to you and listening to you, I can feel that the purpose, like you have a fulfilled, like it's a purpose fulfilled type of energy with that, the way you explain it, the way you want to help people out, the way you talk about affordable housing and setting things up, not just for you, but your legacies and other individuals. So that's a beautiful thing. So you're doing it for a purpose, which is the main thing. God blesses us with things to help others.
That's right.
Service. Guys, we gotta get out here. I've done enough preaching. Y'all ain't gotta go to church on Sundays, but
you got it here. I'm culturally distinct.
That's it. So Vanessa, how can anybody get in contact with you in terms of, like, say, investing, coaching, knowledge? They just want to see you, interns. How can I get in contact with you?
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram, the Vanessa Cole. I'm also on LinkedIn. I will admit I do not check DMs. I don't check. I rarely check messages on LinkedIn.
Let Claude do it.
I should. Yeah. At some point I need to. I actually hired an agency to help me with that.
Okay.
So at some point they will get checked. But if you comment, I will see that. I typically do check comments.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. The Vanessa Cole. Make sure you guys hit Vanessa up. By the way, this is a sidebar. This interview took 5 years to take place, but it's all good.
No.
It finally happened. Guys.
No.
Guys, look, I'm glad you tuned in. You already know where to find me. I'm Culturally Distinct everywhere. Black Adam. If y'all see me in the street, y'all see me on the airport, y'all see me on TV, just say hello, whatever. I'm open to everything. So, guys, I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Peace.
Bye.
That's a wrap.